So go ahead and come to a seat on your mat. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And as we start here, seated and quiet, just take a moment to notice the rhythm of your own breath here. Don't try to fix, solve, change, or figure out. Just notice. Notice whether your breath is shallow or expansive. And the quality of your breath. And where do you feel the breath most predominant in your body? Maybe the edges of your nose, your throat, chest, or belly. And again, don't change anything, but just feel it. The temperature of your skin. And even though your eyes are closed, start to notice the space all around your body. The space in front of you, the back of you, and on either side of you. And as you breathe, can you incorporate all these sides of your body into this shape? We'll be here for just a few more rounds of breath, seated and quiet. And so slowly start to blink open your eyes and take your hands to a prayer position in front of your heart. Hook your thumbs in towards your sternum, roll your shoulders back, and press into the heels of your hands so that your palms touch. And as you hook your thumbs into your sternum, breathe as if you were trying to push air into your thumbs. In the before times, when we were in this shape, I would come by and squeeze the base of your hands together, and all of us would actually sit up a little bit taller. It's this unique phenomenon. Okay. And so from here, as you inhale, start to raise your hands up above the crown of your head. Keep your palms together. And as you exhale, as you draw your hands in front of your face and chest, then belly, now almost like you are peeling your hands apart, seal your thumbs and your pointer finger together. So see the triangle of my hand, push that forward. So that's going to be our pattern. Inhale, draw your hands together in front of your heart and up above the crown of your head in a prayer shape. And then exhale as you draw your hands down. The moment you feel your hands peeling apart, press the triangle of your hands forward. So let's do this 3 times on your own. You can keep your eyes soft or maybe just close them. And through this moving meditation, keep the tops of your shoulders relaxed. Try not to tense them. And at the completion of your next exhale, as you press the triangle of your hands forward, separate your hands and then just start to reach forward until you feel like you're going to topple over. Place your fingers down Broaden through your collarbones, sit up tall, and then just fold forward. So press the edge of your sitting bones down if possible, and then reach forward by your fingernails. And keep stretching by all 10 of your fingers, like you were flaring your fingers open like the sun. And now just look forward towards the screen and then walk your hands towards the top right corner of your mat. So we're going to keep our arms active and fingertips tented, and draw your left hip crease back as you reach forward. Keep anchoring your sitting bones down into your mat. And slide your hands forward and then to the top left corner of your mat. Relax through your chest. Walk your hands forward. And then slowly, as you roll up your spine, glide your fingertips towards you. Okay. So we're going to come up into a Vajrasana position, which essentially means sitting up on our shins. Alternatively, you can just sit cross-legged doing this, but just change the cross of your legs if you're going to stay seated, okay? Otherwise, just sit up on your shins with your toes untucked. So basically, you're just sitting back like so. Keep squeezing your inner thighs and knees towards one another, and lift your seat up and then place your glutes back down onto your heels, just so that you can feel them. It's gonna be a little squishy. Okay, so the arm pattern that we're gonna do with this torso rotation, you're gonna feel it a little bit more in Vajrasana, sitting up on your shins, but you can do the exact same thing seated in a normal Sukhasana. Take your right hand down, and I'm mirroring you in this moment. Sweep your left arm up and overhead. So stay tented here. You can walk your right fingertips out slightly and then lean back. And keep your left arm straight-ish so it's active, but you're not collapsing into the shape. Gaze underneath your upper arm. Inhale here. And as you exhale, keep your right fingertips tented, and you're gonna rotate your torso down to gaze towards the earth. But notice my left arm is still lifted. Press into your right finger pads, inhale, uncork your torso and gaze up. And then exhale, rotate your torso down. So you should feel like you were giving your low belly and your lower left side body a massage here. And do one more. Maybe massage isn't the right word if you're used to something a little bit more relaxing in a massage. Gaze forward and then wave your left arm towards the left side of your mat space. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So reach out to the left, place your fingertips down. And again, we stay tented here so you can press your finger pads down. Sweep your right arm up and overhead. So just pause here. We'll hold this and then lean back and gaze up. So feel like you are pressing the back of your head behind you into a pillow. Keep pressing your glute towards your heels. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to rotate your torso to face the earth and keep your right arm lifted. Press into your finger pads and unwind. Gaze up. And then exhale, gaze down. And do this 2 more times on your own. And then gaze forward on your next inhale. And then come all the way up. Okay, so you can still stay seated like this, or you can come to sit on your glutes. It's up to you, okay? We're gonna go through a few neck stretches and then some jaw releases. So sit up tall wherever you're at. And then from here, I want you to imagine that you are trying to press the back of your head back, but you're still sitting up tall. So you're not necessarily tucking your chin in, you're creating a double chin feeling. So press the back of your head back, still sit up tall. Imagine you were kind of creating a little double chin. And then now start to roll your chin down. So we're creating a little bit more length along the back of our neck and the back of our head. Gaze at your lap. And now you can start to coil forward. Keep tucking your chin towards the notch in between your collarbones. And feel like you are being lifted up by the back of your neck. And as you breathe, notice the rise and fall of your chest against your chin. Remain calm. And so keep your chin tucked and slowly roll your right ear towards your right shoulder and gaze forward. Then bring your chin down and then roll your left ear towards your left shoulder. And so just move from side to side before we pause and hold. And keep breathing, but keep your spine long. So this sensation is emanating from the movement of our neck. So the next time your right ear is towards your right shoulder and you're gazing forward, pause. Now take your left hand, I'm mirroring you, and then reach out to the left and down slightly. And imagine that you were trying to reach for something that just dropped to the ground. Take your left fingertips and now just start to gather them forward. Keep the tilt of your head towards the right. Reach them forward until you can gaze at your fingers in your periphery and then reach them back. So do this a couple of times. This arm movement just exaggerates the sensation along the side of your neck. Okay, and so pause, lower your left fingertips down, and now take your right hand and then place the palm of your hand against the side of your head and encourage your ear a little bit closer towards your shoulder without force. Breathe into the side of your neck. All right, release that. Lift the crown of your head up slowly. We'll do that sequence on the other side. So from here, sit up tall, and then bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. And you can just let it hang out, and then reach your right arm out and down slightly. And again, imagine that you're trying to reach for something so that you feel that activation in your arm, so your arm is not limp. And then stretch your right fingertips forward, and then back. And just do this a couple of times. And then pause, lower your fingertips down, take your left hand, and just place the palm of your hand against the outside of your head. And encourage your ear down. Breathe into the right side of your neck. Okay, and then come all the way up. So now we're gonna focus on the scalenes or like the jaw muscles. This is the one exercise that it's very difficult for me to talk through because it literally has to do with my jaw. So I'm gonna talk through this the best that I can while mirroring it to you, okay? And so essentially what's going to happen is we're going to bring our right ear towards our right shoulder, and then you're gonna bring your chin forward and the crown of your head back. So essentially it's like your head is on a swivel. So keep pulling your chin forward. Okay, so in this moment, I want you to unhinge your jaw. So let your teeth part and let your jaw, your bottom jaw just hang out. Keep rolling the crown of your head back and your chin forward until you feel this activation along your scalenes, essentially underneath your jaw. Okay, now try to bring your bottom jaw to meet your top. So let your teeth touch. And then let your teeth part. And do that a couple of times. Okay, release that. Whew. Do that on the other side, same thing. So left ear towards left shoulder, and then like a swivel, bring your chin forward as much as you can and the crown of your head back. Unhinge your jaw. And then again, bring your bottom jaw to meet your top teeth. So your teeth touch without clenching, and then release it. So I know you might look a little peculiar, but this is one of the benefits of, unless you're literally in the same room as me, I can't see you. Okay. Release that. One last thing, take your hands and clasp them behind your neck. Okay. So essentially right underneath your hairline. And I want you to, with the palms of your hands, it's called a lemon squeeze. So feel like you were squeezing the sides of your neck with the palms of your hands, but sit up tall. And this is hard to do with my AirPods in. So just keep squeezing and then gather your elbows forward and round only from your neck. Gaze into your lap. And we'll hold this for about 3 to 4 rounds of breath. And just keep squeezing the sides of your neck with the heels of your hands. And remain calm. You're doing great. And slowly release the back of your neck and come up. Let's all come to a hands and knees position or tabletop. So swivel your feet out to the side and step back. And of course, you can pad your knees if you have a blanket. If you're not on a carpeted surface like I am, I'm on a hardwood surface. And walk your hands underneath your shoulders. And then make sure that your thigh bones are perpendicular to the earth. Tailbone presses back and the crown of your head forward. Gaze forward. And as you inhale, press into your knees, hands and toes. Arch your spine, gaze forward for a cow. And then exhale, start to round through your spine. Pull the back of your heart up and gaze behind you for a cat back. So just do this a couple of times. Let's do this with our toes tucked this morning. So 2 more on your own. Just breathe here. Okay, and come into a neutral tabletop. Keep your legs in tabletop and your toes tucked, and then just come to a kneeling position. So essentially you're on your knees and your toes. If you're in the same room as me, I'd like you to turn so you're facing the mirrors as opposed to this way. It'll just make it easier. And then you're going to, I'll face you, those of you behind the screen, and I'm not going to mirror you, and you'll see why momentarily. Extend your right leg out to the right. Make sure that you have enough space to your right, so you're coming into a gate position. Seal your whole right foot down and make it face forward in the same direction that you're gazing. Slide your right hand against the outside of your right leg and sweep your left arm up and overhead. Okay, so from here, press the back of your head back and then gaze up underneath your upper arm. Inhale here. And as you exhale, you guessed it, we're gonna rotate our torso and gaze down. So we've been here before in our Vajrasana at the very beginning of class. Press into your right foot and inhale, gaze up. And then exhale, gaze down. One more. And this time as you inhale and unfurl, gaze up and just pause here for a moment. One complete round of breath in this gate position. And then wave your arm up, come back into the gate position with your torso vertical. Place your palms down underneath your shoulders. Okay. So your left knee is still at about a 90-degree angle and your right leg is still extended. Remember, I'm not mirroring you. Right palm stays down. Inhale, sweep your left arm up and overhead. And as you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your belly and come onto the outside of your left shoulder. Gaze to the right, and then slide your right hand forward towards my voice. Just breathe here. You can place the side of your head down. Walk your right hand underneath your shoulder. Press into your palm and unthread your left arm up. And as you exhale, place your left palm down. Okay, so remain in this gate position, or tabletop gate, I should say. Keep your left toes tucked. Walk your hands forward towards the front of your mat. Press into your hands and shift your weight back towards your left heel. Inhale, shift forward, gaze forward. Exhale, shift your weight back. Breathe into the inside edge of your right leg. Do that one more time. And now pause and breathe. And here I like to gaze forward in between my thumbs. Press into your palms, shift your weight forward. Okay, so now you're gonna take your right leg, that's the extended leg, and then gather it in slightly, but then start to push your foot forward and wide. Okay? So step your right foot wide in between your hands, and it comes to the outside edge of your mat. Okay? Keep your left toes tucked on your palms, and then just shift your weight forward. So you're coming into a wide crescent moon shape. Just start to dip your pelvis down and gaze forward. And you can come up onto your finger pads here for a little bit of height. And breathe here. You can stay here for another round of breath or two. If you'd like to do a little twisting, since we've been doing this all morning, take your right palm to the top of your right thigh, press into your palm, scoop your belly in, and then twist and look to the right. So twist from your low belly. Plant your palm down, and then slide your right knee underneath you. Return back into a tabletop position, but keep walking your hands back. So you're coming into that kneeling position. Extend your left foot back, and you can stay facing the mirror side of the room and then just do the same flow on the other side. Okay. Extend your left foot to the left. Slide your left hand down the outside of your left leg and sweep your right arm up and overhead. And again, keep your right toes tucked behind you. We'll do that same thing. Rotate your torso, lean back and gaze up. And then exhale, rotate your torso and gaze down. Do two more like that. Inhale. And exhale. One more. And this time as you inhale and gaze forward, lean back and just pause and breathe here in gate. And then wave your right arm down and plant your palms down underneath your shoulders. From this position, walk your hands forward to the top of your mat, gaze forward, and then press your hips back towards your right heel. Inhale, shift forward, and exhale, press your hips back. Two more like that. Inhale, and exhale. Let's pause and breathe here for a few rounds of breath. Breathe into the inside edge of your left leg and seal your whole left foot down. On your next inhale, shift forward. And then as you slide your hands back towards you, come back into that tabletop position in your upper body. Your left foot slides in, but then press it forward and wide. And just scoot your foot forward and then bend into your left knee. You can walk your hands forward and shift your weight forward. And you choose the depth of this shape. Make sure that your left knee doesn't go beyond the left ankle. So we don't want this, okay? Slightly back is actually preferred. You can come up onto your fingertips. Keep your right toes tucked if possible. And breathe into your right psoas, the space along the front line of your thigh. Stay here or place your right palm down, left palm against the top of your left thigh, scoop your belly in, and then twist over to the left. So anytime we do a twist like this, we always need to come out of this shape slightly, so you've got more access to the low belly to twist. And place your palm down and slide your left knee underneath you. Okay. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. One last thing in tabletop. Okay? And make sure that you're in the middle of your mat. Slide your left toes back behind you. So you're in this half spinal balance position. Pivot your left foot so it's parallel to the back edge of your mat space. Kickstand your right toes behind you. And as you inhale, rotate your torso to the left and sweep your left arm up and overhead. But then immediately place the palm down, adjust your feet, and come back into tabletop. And you're gonna do that exact same thing on the other side. Slide your right toes back, pivot your right foot, and kickstand your left toes behind you. Rotate your torso to the right, sweep your right arm up and overhead. And then place your palm down. So we're gonna move from one side to the other. And just try not to pause in the movement, but don't go too fast. So you're going on the right whenever you're ready. So it's a really methodical movement. And then transition to the right. Moving from modified side plank on one side and then the other. Do this one more time on the left and the right on your own. And that's actually the key. Since we're not pausing the movement, can you go at a consistent pace? Okay. And so whenever you complete that, come back into a tabletop position, walk your hands forward, a handprint, toes tucked, and then just start to lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Keep your knees super bent here so that maybe, and actually let's all do this. Spread your fingers wide, maybe bring your big toes together. Bend your knees and lift your tailbone up. And bring your belly towards your upper thighs. And then now that you've got this leverage, maybe you can start to soften your heels towards the earth, but keep a bending of your knees. You can separate your feet now, hips with distance. So that's what you always want to feel in this downward facing dog, this lift from our tailbone. Take another round, a breath or two here. On your next inhale, gaze forward between your thumbs. And as you exhale, tiptoe your way to the top of your mat space for a forward fold. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do next from the side view and then the front. Come up onto your finger pads, and that might require bending your knees. Okay. And then from here, keep your right fingertips down, and then just start to bend your right knee. Keep your left leg straight and press your left thigh bone back. So it's going to look like this. Okay. And then take your left hand and trace the inside edge of your right arm and extend your arm up. So it's going to look like this twisted variation of Uttanasana. So again, right knee pointing forward and bending, left leg straight, right fingertips down, left arm up. Inhale here, keep pressing the left thigh bone back. As you exhale, swim your left arm forward and down. So let's do that on the other side. Left fingertips down, bend the left knee and press your right thigh bone back. And then inhale, start to twist over to the right. And just pause and breathe here in this twisted Uttanasana. Inhale here. And then exhale, swim your right arm forward. So let's move from one side to another, almost like we're pedaling our feet. So start to rotate your torso to the left. And then switch to the right. So do this one more time on the left and the right. You probably are feeling this along your hamstrings. Okay, place both hands down, bend your knees slightly, and now you can just hang forward and relax here. And then slowly, using the strength of your legs and your low belly, roll all the way up. And sweep your arms forward and up, palms to touch, and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins or thighs, gaze forward. Exhale, fold, plant your palms and step back to a downward facing dog. Take your time, there's no rush. Bring your big toes to touch. And as you inhale, anchor your left heel down towards the mat as you sweep your right leg up and overhead. And then from here, see if you can dial all 5 right toes down, but now bend your knee and then stack your right hip on top of your left. And pause here, and then press your right palm down a little bit more so that the shoulder rolls down slightly. And then slowly lower your right foot down to meet your left. We'll do that on the other side. Anchor your right heel. Sweep your left leg up. And pause here in this 3-legged dog. Now bend your knee and stack your left hip on top of your right. So our chest is still facing down and we're rotating from our lower side body. Lower your left foot to meet your right and then gaze forward. And as you exhale, step forward. Once you're at the top of your mat, slowly roll all the way up. And so we're gonna do this shape. I'm gonna adjust my camera slightly so that you can see me a little bit better. So we're gonna do this shape from the top of our mat. Okay, so you're gonna come into this triangle shape of your hands like we did earlier, and you're gonna draw your hands in front of your heart. Okay, actually, let's start in a prayer shape before we do this. And you can always just watch the screen for a moment. Actually, let's all do that. So you're gonna place your right foot down and you're gonna come onto the ball of your left foot. You're gonna draw your left thigh up into this one-legged Tadasana. So that's what our leg's gonna do. And then you're gonna end up stepping back into a crescent lunge, okay? What our hands are gonna do at the same time is you're gonna have your hands in prayer and draw them up. And then as you draw them down, it's gonna be that same thing where you come into the triangle shape and press that forward, okay? So this is what it looks like all together. Okay, and maybe you stop here and you can just wiggle your toes back, okay? And then we're gonna do that same thing from this crescent lunge shape. Inhale, extending your arms up, straightening the right leg slightly, and then exhale, bending into the right knee and pressing the triangle forward. Okay, so let's all do that together now that you know the pattern. Okay. Start from here. Inhale, raise your left leg up, draw the palms of your hands up above the crown of your head. And then exhale, press the triangle of your hands forward as you step your left foot back behind you. Okay, get adjusted. Make sure that you have enough space in between your legs, but you still feel balanced. Inhale, draw your palms together and up, come up slightly. And then exhale, bend the right knee and press the triangle of your hands forward. 2 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. So this pulsation of the legs that we've done all weekend. 1 more. This time as you inhale, as you draw your palms together up above the crown of your head, pause here for a moment, swivel your left heel down, and as you re-bend your right knee, open up into a warrior 2 position. Inhale, reverse warrior, tip back, sweep your right arm up. And as you exhale, now bring your right forearm to your right thigh and sweep your left arm up and overhead. Pause here for a moment. And now we've been doing that whole rotation all throughout class. So I want you to imagine rotating up and gazing up underneath your upper arm. Lean the back of your head back. Stay here, or take your left hand and flip your palm so that the thumb faces down, and then bend your left arm and place the back of your hand against your sacrum. Lift up your elbow and then keep leaning back. So we're coming into this half bind position, and you can stay here, or keep sliding your left hand behind you, and maybe it reaches for the inside edge of your right thigh. It's going to look a little peculiar, especially in the screen. Just pause and breathe here. Keep rolling the left shoulder back, stacking the hips and leaning back. Unthread your left arm and sweep it up and overhead. And then press into your right foot, come up, warrior two. Inhale here. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands to frame your right foot. Pick up your left heel and step forward. And shake out your legs. And then slowly roll all the way up. Okay, let's do that sequence on the other side. Okay. This time, you're gonna bring weight into your left foot as you draw your right thigh up, like so. Extend your arms up above the crown of your head. And as you exhale, press the triangle of your hands forward as you step your right foot back behind you. In this moment, adjust your stance. Okay, I'm always in the wrong side of my mat. Good. Inhale, press into your left foot, straighten your left leg, palms up. And then exhale, rebend your left knee and press the triangle of your hands forward. Two more. And gaze at a point in front of you that's not moving. One more. This time as you inhale, draw your palms up above the crown of your head. And now swivel your right heel down, bend your left knee, open up into a warrior two position. Inhale, reverse warrior, tip back. And then exhale, come into this extended side angle position with the left forearm down. So I'm going to demonstrate this to you actually facing away so you can see in case you wanted to come into that extended side angle. Okay, so just start by leaning back slightly and gazing underneath your upper arm. Okay, from here now, if you want to come into that half bind position, flip your palm and then bend your right arm. Place the back of your hand against your sacrum and then lean back. Keep lifting up by your right elbow. You can stay here, and this is perfectly fine. You can, if you have the access, you can slide your right fingertips inside your left thigh as you keep rolling the right shoulder back. And this is the precursor for coming into the full bind, which we're not going to do this morning. Unthread your right arm and sweep it up and overhead. And then exhale, come into a warrior two position, gazing forward. Pause here for the inhale. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your left foot. And pick up your back heel and step forward and shake out your legs. Okay, and so from here, just start to roll all the way up. And here's a great place. There's one little thing I want to introduce before we come onto our mats. So here's a great place to just grab some water. So I want to show you, as you just take a quick pause, an option for where we're going to go. Okay, so we're going to end up coming into a downward facing dog. So option one is doing exactly what we did earlier in class, which is coming into that very methodical, moving from modified side plank to the other. Okay, so that's option one. Option two is from downward facing dog, shifting forward to like a half plank position, bending your knees and swiveling your heels to one side and then the other. You can do this with just your feet. Once your heels to one side, you can sweep your arm up. So it's this similar position coming from like a half side plank position. Okay? So those are your options. Okay? So whenever you're ready, You choose. You're either gonna come into downward facing dog or start from a tabletop position. And you're gonna do 3 rounds on each side of this movement, okay? If you're starting from downward facing dog, just shift forward slightly so you're in this half plank position, not quite a full plank. Bend your knees and then bring your heels to the left. And sweep your right arm up and overhead. And then really methodically, it's kind of like a dance going from one side to the other. Don't hold your breath. Relax the expression on your face. Do one more on the left and the right. And let's all meet with our knees down whenever we've completed our 3 rounds. Untuck your toes and sit back. Come into a child's pose position with your knees together, forehead hovering the earth or touching. And we've done a lot for the shoulders, so you can actually slide your hands back behind you with your palms facing up, if you'd like. And just breathe here, remain calm, slow down your breath. And extend your arms forward if they were behind you and press yourself up. Swivel your heels to one side. Come up to sitting. And extend your legs out wide. And when I say wide, you don't have to like come into a split. Just extend your legs so that they're not together. And then walk your sitting bones back. Okay? So just make sure that whatever distance you choose, that it's sustainable. Okay? Flex your feet. And flex them so much and anchor your heels down so that you actually see the backs of my knees like lift up slightly. So that's how much activation I'd like you to have. And then relax your legs. So do that again. Flex your feet, anchor your heels, and notice that your knees lift up slightly. And then lower them down. So it's like a back of the leg workout. One more. So now, start to straighten your legs, press the backs of your knees down, but keep this activation of your toes. So pull your toes towards your face. Okay. And now, start to tip forward, lean forward so you're tilting from your pelvis, and walk your hands forward. And if it's helpful to keep a slight bend of your knees, I'd like you to do so. So this is super active. You should feel this all on the backs of your legs. Breathe here. Prioritize pointing your toes directly up. Walk your hands back. Lean back slightly. And place your hands behind you. Point your toes and then just draw circles, kind of like releasing your ankles. And then the other. Just switch directions. Okay. And come up once again. Make sure that you're on your sitting bones. And start to lean slightly to the left. Place your right palm, I'm mirroring you here, by the way. Right palm against the top of your right thigh and push your right hand down, almost like your hand were a gas pedal, and just trace down your thigh. You might notice your right foot kind of flopping around, and that's totally normal. And so do that a couple of times, just pressing into the top of your right thigh towards your kneecap. And then switch, left palm down. And then like your palm were a gas pedal, just push against your thigh. Okay, and so come up, flex your toes, take your left hand and slide it towards your shin or your ankle. Grab a hold, rotate your torso to the right and sweep your right arm up. You just start to lean over to the left slightly, gaze up underneath your upper arm. Keep flexing your toes. Inhale here. And then you guessed it, exhale, rotate your torso and gaze down at your left toes. 2 more. One more torso rotation on the side. And press yourself up. Do the same thing on the other side, sliding the right hand down. So it doesn't matter, make sure that whatever you grab, you have a firm grasp. Rotate your torso to the left, sweep your left arm up and overhead. Keep flexing your toes, a slight bend of your knees, it can be great. Lean back, and then exhale, rotate your torso to gaze down at your right toes. So 2 more on your own. And press yourself up, wave your arm down. Scoop underneath your knees and bring your legs together. You're gonna make your way onto your back. If you have a yoga block or a firm pillow or a book, make sure that you kind of like grab it. It could be helpful for the next thing, and I'll show you what that looks like as an option. And so imagine that you're about to come into a bridge position. So walk your heels in, keep your knees pointing up, and your feet about hips width distance apart. Take whatever prop you have, block, firm pillow, lift up your hips and slide it underneath your lower back, your sacrum. And for this morning, I'd like you to scoot it closer towards your tailbone as opposed to higher up your back, okay? So it's quite low. It's essentially like right underneath your butt crack. And then from here, you can kind of shift your knees from side to side so your lower back is smooth. And you can just stay here in this supported bridge position. Here's the option. You can start to push one heel forward, keep your leg on the ground, and maybe the other. You can, of course, do this one leg at a time. So your legs are on the earth and extended, and your lower back is lifted. You're gonna feel this great release along your pelvis. So we're essentially hollowing the pelvic bowl, the space in between our pelvic bones, the pointy bones along the front of our body. So just take about 3 to 4 rounds of breath here. You can relax your toes slightly, let the feet splay open and wide. Just take a few rounds of breath, breathing into your pelvic bowl. These shapes are really great for digestion, which can be helpful in the winter when we're not moving as much or we're eating foods that don't pass through us as easily. If your legs are extended, if both legs are extended, slide your heels back 1 foot at a time. So you're in that supported bridge position. Smooth your sacrum against your prop, and then just start to gather one thigh in and then press the heel directly up. And then do the same thing with the other leg. Thigh in and press the foot up. So you're in a supported legs up the wall position. And point and flex your feet. This is my daily reminder to all of us that this shape is really, really beneficial. If you're ever awake in your day, it doesn't matter if you spend most of the time sitting or moving around. It's really good to invert and get our legs up above our heart. So take your time. Just start to lower one foot down at a time. Of course, that position can be done literally at a wall. We just don't have the time necessarily to adjust ourselves. And you can do that without a block or a prop as well. Slide your block off to the side and pause in a constructive rest position. Feet wide, knees together. Start to bring your knees, keeping your feet wide, knees to the right, gaze to the left. And then switch. Knees to the left, gaze to the right. And keep going, massaging along your outer glutes and sacrum. This whole area that we've been twisting all throughout class. That low belly twisting. Essentially, this whole class was unintentionally themed around digestion. Next time your knees fall to one side, it doesn't matter which, you can pause. You can hook your ankle against the outside of your knee if you like. Gaze to the opposite side. And then just switch and hold. And lower both feet down. And then just start to pull your thighs in towards your low belly. Wrap your arms around your shins and press your low back down. You can stay here in this supine child's pose position. Or you can come into a happy baby, reaching for the outsides of your feet and pulling your toes towards you. Release your feet. And then come back into that position, wrapping your arms around your shins. Press your low back down and peel the back of your head up. Bring your nose towards your knees and curl in. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just start to push your heels out and away from you till your legs are straight. Extend your arms by the sides of your body, or you can alternatively place your hands on your body. Soften the tops of your shoulders away from your earlobes. Sink the back of your head down and relax the muscles in your face, your jaw. And soften through your chest and belly, especially the low belly. Allow your body to relax. And I'll call you back shortly. So you can keep your body relaxed and your eyes closed. Notice the surging flow of breath pouring into your chest and belly. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms up above the crown of your head. Gather your knees in towards your chest and roll to one side. And pause here in a fetal position. And press your palms into the earth and come up to sitting. And once you're seated, swivel your hands on top of your heart in Swabhava Mudra, linking the thumbs, and spread your fingers across your chest. And as we bow our head towards our heart, we honor one another. And when you're ready, lift your gaze